Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I'm going to review a very famous myth in Greek mythology, the 12 labors of Hercules. Now, before we get started about the myth itself, let's take a look at who was Hercules, his origins and story. Hercules, also known as Heracles, is mostly known as the most powerful mortal that ever existed. It is also said that he's stronger than many gods that dwelled in Mount Olympus. He was the last son of Zeus, and his mother was Alcmene, the granddaughter of the great hero, Perseus. Hercules was known to be the only man born of a mortal woman that became a god upon his death and went to live on Mount Olympus. To balance his immeasurable strength, Hercules was certainly not the brightest man. In fact, it is said that he heavily lacked wisdom and intelligence. However, judging Hercules on these aspects alone is totally unfair. After all, he was the most critical judge on his own behavior. He showed patience, courage, strength, and resolve most of the time, and never once backed down on a challenge, no matter how impossible it seemed to be initially. The myth of Hercules' 12 labors started due to Hera's hatred toward the demigod. Hera was considered to be the queen of the gods, and she was married to Zeus. And Zeus is known to have affairs with practically anything that moves. Therefore, Hercules was the product of Zeus's adultery, which is why Hera hated him even before he was born. The goddess really went out of her way to make Hercules' life as hard as possible. Even when he was just a baby, the goddess sent 2 giant snakes to try to kill him. Unfortunately for her, even as a baby, Hercules was extremely strong and killed the 2 snakes very easily. But overall, she truly wanted him to suffer, and suffer he did. One day, as Hercules grew up and had a family with Megara, the daughter of King Creon, with whom he had 3 children, a terrible thing happened. Hera drove him mad, and in his insanity, he murdered his wife and 3 children, and for this, he was cursed. Desperate and consumed by guilt, Hercules then went to the Oracle of Delphi for guidance, looking for a way to repent of his terrible actions. The hero was then ordered to serve King Eurystheus and do whatever he asked for 10 years, and it was during that period of time that the demigod completed the seemingly impossible 12 labors. Originally, he was only supposed to do 10. However, King Eurystheus cheated and twisted the rules, and thus requested 2 more from the hero. The first labor was to bring back the skin of the Nemean lion, a creature with invulnerable skin that terrorized the hills around Nemea. After tracking the beast for a while, Hercules quickly realized that his arrows were completely useless and bounced back after hitting the skin of the lion. He then followed the lion to a cave that had 2 entrances. He blocked one of them and faced the lion through the other one. Then, he grabbed the creature by the neck and choked it to death. Since then, Hercules was often depicted wearing the skin of the lion as an armor. The second labor was to kill the Lernaean Hydra. It was a serpent-like creature with 9 heads that attacked using venom. Moreover, one of the 9 heads was indestructible. Hercules set off with his nephew, Iolaus, and first, he lured the beast out of its cave by shooting it with flaming arrows. When it came out, he grabbed the beast and started to smash its heads with a club. However, every single time he smashed one, 2 more heads would grow back. Therefore, as he smashed the heads, his nephew, Iolaus, got the idea to burn the tendons to prevent them from growing back. After defeating the Hydra and going back to Eurystheus, the latter was not impressed and did not count the labor because he said that the hero received help from Iolaus. For the third labor, Hercules was asked to bring back the Hind of Cernia. It was a special deer with golden horns and hooves made out of bronze. The problem was that the creature was a very sacred and special animal for the goddess Diana, and thus, Hercules couldn't just kill it to bring it back. After chasing the deer for a whole year, the animal became wary, and Hercules was finally able to catch it. And after telling Diana the truth about his actions and why he needed the sacred animal, she understood and let him go. For the fourth labor, Hercules had to bring back the Erymanthian boar alive to Mycenae. The creature was huge and lived on a mountain called Erymanthus. Every day it came down from its lair, attacking men and animals and destroying everything on its path. Hercules chased the boar until the beast was out of breath. and then he drove the animal deep in a patch of snow and trapped it in a net. He then carried the boar back to Mycenae to show him to the king Eurystheus. For the fifth labor, the demigod was asked to clean the stables of King Augeas. This might sound easy at first, but Augeas owned more cattle than anyone else in Greece. He owned a herd of many thousands of cows, bulls, goats, sheep, and horses. Hercules said to the king that he would clean all the stables in a single day, in exchange for a tenth of the cattle, to which Augeas agreed. To complete his task, Hercules tore 2 massive holes on opposite sides of the stables. He then dug wide trenches that forced a nearby river to change its course. The flow of the river went through the 2 openings and quickly cleaned the stables. However, once again, although he completed his task, Eurystheus did not count the labor done, because Hercules was paid to do it. For the 6th labor, the hero had to drive away the Stymphalian birds. They were man-eating birds with powerful beaks made out of bronze. For this task, Hercules got some help from the goddess Athena. She gave him a pair of cortala, noise-making clappers made by the god of the forge, Hephaestus. With the help of the noise made by the cortalas, Hercules was able to easily shoot the birds with poisonous arrows tipped in the blood of the previously killed Hydra. The 7th labor Hercules was asked to do was to tame and bring back the Cretan bull to Eurystheus. The bull was a gift from the god of the sea, Poseidon, to the king of Crete, Minos. The king initially promised the god to sacrifice the animal in his honor, but he found the bull so beautiful that he didn't do it. Poseidon got upset because of the lie and thus made the bull rampage in Crete. This is where Hercules intervened and easily wrestled the bull into submission and brought it back with him to Eurystheus. For the 8th task, Hercules was sent to get the man-eating horses of the king Diomedes. Diomedes had the habit of feeding humans to his horses, and Hercules decided to turn the tables on the king. The young hero killed Diomedes and fed him to his own horses. When he brought back the horses to Eurystheus, the king set them free. For the 9th labor, Hercules had to bring back the belt of Hippolyte, the queen of the Amazons. The Amazons were a tribe of woman warriors that only approached men when it was time to have babies. Otherwise, they either killed or got rid of any male children. When Hercules initially asked Hippolyte for her belt, she agreed. The belt was given by the god of war, Ares, to the Amazon warrior because of her superior combat skills. However, to make things harder, Hera disguised herself as an Amazon warrior and rallied the other Amazons against Hercules. The demigod thought that he was betrayed, and thus fought the Amazons and killed Hippolyte, and went back to Mycenae with the belt. The 10th labor required that Hercules brought back the cattle of the monster Geryon. Geryon was a fearsome giant and grandson of the Gorgon, Medusa. He was said to have 3 heads and 3 bodies fused together. To complete the task, Hercules fought the giant and slayed him. He then brought back the cattle to Eurystheus. Due to the fact that the king did not count the labors concerning the Lernaean Hydra and the stables, Hercules still had 2 more tasks to complete. The 11th labor required that the hero brought back one of Zeus's golden apples, a gift given by his wife, Hera. The apples were guarded by the Hesperides, daughters of the titan that held the earth and sky, Atlas. To get the apples, Hercules went to Atlas and suggested that he would hold the earth and sky for a while if the titan could go get the apples for him, and Atlas agreed. When the titan came back with the apples, he said that he will bring them back to Eurystheus by himself. Hercules knew that it was a trick to make him lift the world forever, so he agreed with the titan, but asked him to hold the world for a moment while he placed some soft paddings on his shoulders to ease the task. When Atlas took the world on his shoulders again, Hercules simply took the apples and left immediately to return back to Mycenae to finally complete the task. For the final task, Eurystheus thought of the most dangerous labor that he could think of. The king ordered Hercules to go to the underworld and bring back Cerberus. Cerberus was a 3-headed hound that guarded the gates of the underworld. His parents were Echidna and Typhon, 2 of the most powerful and feared creatures in Greek mythology. When Hercules finally arrived in the underworld, He asked Hades if he could bring back Cerberus with him to complete his final labor. Hades agreed, under the condition that the demigod overpowered the three-headed hellhound with nothing more than his own brute strength. After a fierce battle, Hercules finally subdued the beast into submission, and then brought it back to Eurystheus to complete the final labor. With that, Hercules finally completed the 12 labors and was finally atoned for killing his wife and children. So that concludes today's video. Thank you very much everyone for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed it. The 12 labors of Hercules is probably one of my favorite myths from Greek mythology, and I really wanted to share it with all of you. Now then, if you like the content, please make sure to like and subscribe for more mythology videos, and I'll see you all very soon.